We have the cure to every disease in the world. And we're not giving it to the people. And I want to use this as a parable because I really want this to hit home with you. Let's say me and Abdullah are best friends, we're brothers in deen, we're roommates, and we've been roommates for years and years and years. And let's say Brother Abdullah has contracts an illness, a disease, that is one of the most painful diseases that any human being can ever go through in his life. And it's not something that's going to kill him quick. Let's say this disease is going to suffer and fester with Abdullah and make him not be able to eat, sleep, nothing. He's just miserable all the time. When I come home in the evening, he's rolling around on the floor in pain. And let's say I know him in this condition, and let's say one day I come across the cure for his disease. Someone tells me that if you give this to Abdullah or anyone like him, he will be instantly cured and he will never suffer again. Let's say I take that and put it in my pocket, and I don't give it to Abdullah. Why? Why don't you give it to Abdullah? Well, number one, I'm way too busy. I have 2 jobs, going to school, I have a long commute back and forth, I gotta drive up and down the 405 every day. I don't have time to give Abdullah this medicine, man. If he wants the medicine, he'll go get it himself. I don't have time, I'm really busy. Number 2, I'm not a doctor. I should not be prescribing Abdullah medicine, and I'm not knowledgeable in medicine. If he wants help, he should go see a doctor. I'm not a doctor. Number 3, Abdullah's kind of stubborn. He doesn't really listen very well. He probably, he's kind of set in his ways. So even if I tell him this medicine is good for him and it'll cure him, he probably wouldn't even take it anyway. So why waste my time? Do any of these excuses sound familiar? And let's say I don't give this medicine to Abdullah and he dies. And let's say he dies the most painful death that you can ever imagine. I want to ask you a kind of rhetorical question. Do you think on the Day of Judgment that Allah is going to call me and Abdullah up and ask him about this incident between me and him because I've oppressed him? I have oppressed him. I've allowed him to suffer knowing that I could ease his suffering. I'm sure Allah is going to ask us about this. You know the unfortunate thing? That while you've been sitting here listening to me, thousands of people have died. Thousands of people have lost their life not knowing Allah while I'm talking to you right now. And there's nothing we can do about them. They're gone. It's too late for them. We can't save them even if we want to. And that's a deplorable, sad fact, that we can't save them. But there are many who we can save. And that all that takes is us taking this light of Islam we have and showing it to the world. The Muslims of this generation, we are a bunch of candles with buckets on top of it. No one can see our light. No one can see the beauty of Islam in it. Believe me, if you don't see it, believe me, take it from someone who was once standing on the outside looking through the window at that light. It is one of the most beautiful things you can ever lay your eyes on. It is a treasure to be found of treasures. And everyone else can see this, and they will see this if we show it to them. If we allow Islam to be Islam. If we start becoming Muslims. The best form of da'wah that you can do to this world is very simple. It's not complex. It doesn't take a 10-hour workshop, even though some of the details do. But if you want to know the way, the best way to do da'wah is for Muslims to be Muslims. That's it. And on the Day of Judgment, you can stand before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala having washed your hands and saying that I did my job. And I finished just one more thing. I finished with this last statement of Prophet Muhammad ﷺ to the Muslims as a whole. He gave his farewell sermon. And he knew this was the last thing he was going to say to the Muslims as a whole. And how did he end this sermon? Those who are here, pass this on to those that are not here. For verily it may be that the last one that hears my message may understand it than those right here among us. He gave a command to those Muslims to pass it on, and for those Muslims to pass it on, and for those Muslims to pass it on, until there was no one left to hear this message. This was a command he gave, the last command he gave to this ummah as a whole. He pointed his finger to the heavens and said, "O Allah, bear witness that I have indeed conveyed your message." And the last statement that Prophet Muhammad ﷺ gave to us was that we must pass this message on. Qur'ans are not going to fall out of the sky and hit people when they're walking down the street. This job has now become ours. Don't be the person standing before Allah on the Day of Judgment and your neighbor that you've known, your co-worker that you've known 10, 15, 20 years come and find you and tell you, you knew this day was coming. You knew this day was coming and what was going to happen to me, and you did not say anything to me. And those people will complain to Allah about us. They will complain to Allah about us because we have the truth right amongst them and we're not giving it to them. We need to stop hiding it in our masjids, in our homes, in our hearts, and we need to give it to the people. It's beautiful, trust me. Just hand it to them. Just hand it to them.